The first thing I want you to take away from today is this: you will have good days and you'll have bad days, but you will always learn something more or something new, and you will learn more overall on bad days than good days. You will learn more about yourself, you'll learn more about relationships, you'll learn about life and principles, and it'll build your character.
A lot of people don't have the resiliency to restart in the middle of the day, and so they lose those last couple hours or the rest of the entire day to a bad mood, to bad energy, to bad productivity, to being ineffective. And because of that, it's costing us great amounts of progress in our own personal lives, and frankly, as a country, a nation, an economy, we struggle with it a lot. People need to become more resilient.
I had a choice in how I would deal with this. I could lay there on the X and feel sorry for myself. I could listen to the negativity, or I could figure out how to drive forward.
You gotta be fucking tired of not being number one. You have to be, and you gotta fucking play angry, and I play angry.
We need to understand that life is unbelievably complex and layered, and we need to lean into optimism and gratitude. And whether it's time for bits or not, I just think that you should think that every decision is right. And I think most people think every decision is wrong. Like most people just go into like, did I make the right decision? There's just this unbelievable ability to beat oneself up, to be cynical, to be pessimistic, to be fear-based. And I'm just trying to get people to flip it, because life is actually how it plays out in your head. It just actually is. Like my ability to turn every negative into a positive is very real. And I watched many people taking positives and turning into negatives. It's very real. Life is a perspective game, and we need to have more positive optimism. The end.
Perspective is such a powerful word. Perspective on a bad day is reminding yourself of that Persian proverb which says, I cursed the fact I had no shoes until I saw the man who had no feet. It's very easy to get seduced into making something small a lot larger than it is. And perspective simply reminds us to go to 50,000 feet on a bad day and count our blessings. Perspective simply reminds us that things could be a lot worse.
Muscle is created by repeatedly lifting things that have been designed to weigh us down. So when you show this feeling, stand up straight, lift your chin, hell, call it exercise. Remember that life is a gym membership with a really complicated cancellation policy. Remember that you will survive. Remember, things could be worse. Remember, we are never, ever given anything that we can't handle. When the world crumbles around you, you have to look at the wreckage and then build a new one out of all the pieces that are still here.
What really matters to you? And when you think about that, I don't think your material possessions matter that much. I heard people crying and talking about they lost everything, and I was to say to them through the television, but you're still here. You lost all your material things, but you're still here.
So go ahead. Tell me that you're having a bad day. Tell me about the traffic. Tell me about your boss. Tell me about the job you've been trying to quit for the past 4 years. Tell me the morning is a townhouse burning to the ground. Tell me the snooze button is a fire extinguisher. Tell me the alarm clock stole the keys to your smile, drove it at 7 a.m. and the crash totaled your happiness. Tell me how blessed are we to have tragedy so small it can fit on the tips of our tongues.
You know, there are just some things that we won't understand in this life. There are some times where you're going to wish that you could rewind and do things all over again. There are times where you just wish you could forget memories, and you try to drown those memories in alcohol or different pleasures, and maybe get distracted by the goals and ambitions of your life and try to put the past behind and move forward. We're all human beings. You know how it is. If you didn't go what you've gone through, you wouldn't be who you are.
These are life ambitions. And you are not being hit by actual bullets or bombs that occur on the battlefield. You are being hit by the bombs and bullets of life. And the thing is that's common for all of us, when these ambushes occur, we all get stuck on a central point, X. And the X is that central point of attack. It is the point of incident. It's the point of the end moments. And for most of us, we focus on the pain. We focus on the misery. We focus on that stress. We focus on the past and what we've lost. instead of focusing on what really needs to happen. When these life ambushes come, we must get off the X as quickly as possible. So how do we do that? When these hard moments come, we need to think about, I have my family, I have my friends, I have some money in an account, maybe I need to borrow some money to deal with the problem. This is coming for all of us. Life is unfair. It doesn't go according to plan. But if you already have it in your mind, no matter what obstacles or adversity I come up against, I'm going to overcome, you're already covered.
Most people have no idea that tragedy and silence have the exact same address. When your day is a museum of disappointments hanging from events that were outside of your control. When you find yourself flailing in an ocean of why is this happening to me? When it feels like your guardian angel put in his 2-week notice 2 months ago and just decided not to tell you. When it feels like God is a babysitter that's always on the phone. When you get punched in the esophagus by a fistful of life. Remember that every year 2 million people die of dehydration. So it doesn't matter if the glass is half full or half empty. There's water in the cup. Drink that shit and stop complaining.
It is amazing the power of positivity over negativity. It is amazing when in the face of massive adversity, when we choose to drive forward, what it can do for us. Because most people are unwilling to do this. We're so focused on the pain and the misery and on what we lost, we focus on the end. And we get stuck on the X. Failing to realize one of the greatest gifts you have when life ambushes come, that it can become a new beginning. Some of the hardest moments in your life will become some of the greatest opportunities.
WTOH, what's the opportunity here? See, there's great power in a question, and it allows your brain to hunt for something good. And so how do you pivot? You ask yourself, what's the opportunity here? You have a fight with someone, let's say one of your family members. You say, what's the opportunity here? Well, your brain then starts to look for the opportunity, which is, I can learn how to communicate better. Or this is an opportunity for me to show forgiveness and grow in my personal bravery. This is an opportunity for me to understand my family member better. It's a great and powerful question.
You can't be worried. You can't be fearful. When you're grateful, you can't be angry. And anger and fear are what screw people up most in their relationships, in their life, in their business. So I wire myself. I was saying to you that most people want to be happy, but their habit is to be worried or pissed off or frustrated or stressed. And so they've got a highway to stress and they got a dirt road to happiness. So that's how much we can be primed by our environment. We think we're just feeling what we're feeling, but our environment, if we don't take control of our environment, it takes control of us.
Not only must we reflect on what really matters and strengthen that and refocus our minds on the new chapters in our lives, that we have the power to write a new script. But we have to recalibrate. We have to ignite when tragedy strikes. We come together and start calling people who mean something to us, who's important to us, to see how they're doing. When tragedy strikes, I think that it prompts you to begin to do 3 things, particularly after you go through it. Number 1 is to reflect. Start thinking about the people that mean something to you.
But the one thing I do want to leave you with is, as you guys know, there's nothing we can't accomplish.
Remember, you are still here. The human heart beats approximately 4,000 times per hour, and each pulse, each throb, each palpitation is a trophy engraved with the words, you are still alive. Act like